Artwork number 242 is by Kiki Smith, and the name of the artwork is Lying with the Wolf, 2001. This is ink and pencil, so it's a drawing on paper. And the size of the paper, I think, is really important, just so that you know this is very large. This is 7 feet by 6 feet. So here's an idea. I don't think this artwork is in this photo, but this would be from the show that the artwork was a part of this series. You can see the other drawings about that same size. And so it's on this textured paper, and it's larger than life is the size of these drawings. All right, so let's talk about what do we see, right? What is this a picture of? You could see two main ideas. So what we're going to write in our notes is this is a reclining female nude. So what I want you to do underneath where you write this, right? Reclining female nude, give it like a little post-it note size of space, because we're going to add some information back to that idea. But there's two things going on here, right? You have a reclining female nude, and that reclining female nude is embracing a tamed wolf. So typically we see wolves as predators, but here we see more of a domesticated wolf with this woman. So when you think of the history or stories of a wolf, hang on a second. When we think of the stories or the relationships of women or girls with a wolf, what story comes to mind, or what idea do you guys have relating these two characters together, right? So what's the relationship between a woman and a wolf? And if you look at the sculpture, this is also by Kiki Smith. So you can see her fully grown. This is a woman, and she's stepping out of a wolf's body. So you can relate that to the idea of Little Red Riding Hood, which is a girl, right? But here she is depicting her as a full-grown woman. So think to that wolf, right? If we look at Little Red Riding Hood's wolf that the Grimm brothers originally wrote about, how are they interpreting the wolf? How are they depicting this character? So the wolf is typically depicted as a villain, right? He's kind of demonized. So the wolf becomes a symbol of evil and danger, starting from these previous stories. And Kiki Smith is really interested in folklore, biblical stories, mythological stories, just narratives that we're kind of raised with, right? We hear all these stories as kids, and they become a part of us and part of our subconscious. So what she's doing is she's reimagining the traditional roles of the predator, right? That's the wolf, and the prey. That's the little girl and the grandmother, the women. And then they become these nurturing companions. And there's another story. So she talks in an interview about seeing this painting when she was at the Louvre. So she saw a painting of Saint Genevieve, and Saint Genevieve is surrounded by wolves. It looks like there's also some other animals going on here, but she's inspired by this painting, and she does some research into the history and the story of Saint Genevieve. So we're not going to write all this down, but the context about this biblical character. So in Paris, in about 451, Paris was under attack by the Huns, and the Huns were actually described as fierce wolves. So the Parisians are planning on abandoning their city, but Saint Genevieve persuaded everybody to stay calm. She believed in the power of prayer, so she placed her faith in the power of prayer, and then the Huns spared Paris. They did not attack. And so everybody was saved. So I would write down what I have below, where it says Genevieve became a hero, right? A heroine. Can't say that word. A hero, female hero, who saved Paris from a ravenous army of wolf-like Huns. All right, so we have these two stories of these women and then relating to wolves, right? And so she is reinterpreting and putting those two stories kind of together in this reimagined coupling of the woman with the wolf. So she is challenging the conventions of how also a female figure is portrayed, right? The woman is not submissive. She's not cowering in fear. She's actually depicting female strength and empowerment by embracing this wolf. All right. And I told you guys, leave a little bit of room talking about the reclining female nude. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reclining female nudes in our art history curriculum that we're going to be talking about. So they're all going to kind of build off of one another. But what we need to add is that context. So the reclining nude alludes to the traditional depictions of women being portrayed as objects for men to enjoy. So if you look at Kiki Smith's painting of a woman, that is not an idealized image for a man to look at and enjoy. She is more depicting in a woman of strength. So she's kind of challenging this idea of women being portrayed for the male gaze. All right, that is all.